The patrols have sent word that the forces of evil have started their march. The Principality of Dol Amroth have mustered its forces with a host of Haradrim, Easterlings and Orcs on their doorstep. The men of Belfalas have decided to hold the valley east of the capital of Dol Amroth. Unable to get their full fighting force, they have decided to send word to the Prince. That way they can muster the full force and bring it down upon the armies of evil. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to a start of a brand new scenario battle. These are the Chronicles of Dol Amroth, the great battle for the south of Gondor, and hopefully this will be one hell of a scenario battle. So if you guys don't know what scenario battles are, basically, if you've never seen them on the channel before, I've done a few of them in the past. Pretty much every battle's outcome plays off from one another. There's a kind of an underlying storyline. This time we are fighting in Dol Amroth, so these factions will kind of reappearing every single battle. However, the next battle isn't decided yet. If Dol Amroth win here, they'll obviously take that advantage forward, gain certain bonuses like extra armies, more troops. However, if they end up losing this battle, obviously the same will be said for the forces of evil. So we will be seeing plenty more soldiers and orcs and reinforcements from Haradrims. We could see, additional armies turning up. Maybe Dol Guldur sends a force. Realistically, anything can happen in between battles, which makes these engagements so exciting. And it's just really cool to have a narrative, have a battle with consequences. So everything is to play, and today it should be one hell of an exciting one. A lot of the time as well, these battles aren't necessarily completely balanced as well. Sometimes, due to previous engagements, one side will have a clear advantage and it'll be up to the other team just to get as many casualties as they can, really try and hamper the enemy forces, because by doing that, they go ahead and make the next battle maybe a little bit easier. So it's not all about just winning the battle, it's about winning the goddamn war, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I believe this scenario is going to be a fairly short one to kick us off. Maybe in the future we can do some longer ones, but I believe this scenario is planned to be around about 3 to 4 episodes, 3 to 4 battles, depending on, the outcome of these. Maybe a certain battle will extend the length of the scenario, but it should be very exciting to see exactly how this one turns out. So obviously, due to the intro you guys heard, we are a small force of Dol Amroth's forces. These aren't the entire army. This is more so a holding force so that word can get to the Prince and he can rally the main banners of Dol Amroth and maybe some supporting forces from Gondor. And they are fighting a heavy army of orcs, Easterlings, and so much more. I mean, just look at them pushing forward. We got Olog High with the brand new patch, if you guys haven't seen it, in 6.0 or 0.6 of Rise of Mordor. They added in Olog High, all with their own custom animations. They look absolutely awesome, and this unit is insanely strong, much like it should be. Attack trolls are scary. We obviously also have the men of the Easterlings. May also in this brand new patch have updated units, and then over on the far right we do have the Haradrim, who recently received again another massive overhaul. And do we have any baby Mumakil this day? No baby Mumakil at the moment. Dol Amroth, for example, are set up back here. They have a fairly strong line. These are a very, very hard unit to break. We obviously have the Dol Amroth Knights, and they're supported by the Prince's Coast Guards, which are halberd infantry, kind of poking their weapons through the shields of the Knights. So it's a really deadly setup, and they can basically push back anything they come into contact with. We have groups of shock infantry set back in their formation, archers hiding in the woods, obviously going to provide them with a little bit more protection, and then we obviously have a fallback position up here. So again, this is another thing why the scenario battles are so much fun, because it's not just like a multiplayer battle where every side is completely optimizing everything. There's these cool positions like this. It's more of a story-driven campaign. Both players, both teams are completely trying to win. However, they go ahead and add in some more of that flavor into the game. We have this kind of fallback position up on the hill. We have soldiers falling back here, kind of just holding back the mountain pass if, soldiers have to retreat out. And that's what makes these battles really, really spectacular. So what we'll do now is we'll jump ahead until some action. It looks like there's going to maybe be some action in the forest as the, elite cavalry. We have some of the armored squires from Dol Amroth ready to pounce. So yeah, we'll jump back into when this ambush, I guess, kicks off. And here we have it. The ambush has been sprung. The armored squires clash into the Bane of the Steppe. Now, this is not a great engagement. As good as Dol Amroth's cavalry is, the Bane of the Steppe are an extremely deadly cavalry from the Easterlings, and you can already start to see they are pursuing them, trying to pin them in place. And honestly, this is a good engagement in the forest for the Bane of the Steppe. No, it's actually just for the Gil Lancers. Sorry, they recently changed. So actually, this is not a bad engagement for Dol Amroth. They've got 2 against 1 here and should be able to use their their prowess on horseback to take these guys on. Not going to be the easiest fight, of course, but they do outnumber them pretty heavily. And oh my god, is that a break already? What the hell? These Lancers are already breaking for the Eastlings. That is insane. I guess the envelopment does really come in clutch. Maybe they try to pull through a bit too much. But now they can surround this, and this is huge. We do have some more cavalry reinforcing, though. The Haradrim Serpent Guard bringing its way up. And we have the boys. Trolls making their way up. I mean, oh my god. Just take a look at that for a second. The legions of orcs in the distance. Oh, man. Rise of Mordor just keeps getting better and better and better. I mean, what is not to love right there? Just the sheer numbers of soldiers looking so epic. And this is very scary. You can see the cavalry turning tail and running. These elephants, because they're making elephant noises still, hopefully in the future they can get troll noises in. It's just a very long and arduous process to change the sounds in Attila, but something they can totally do. So that won't be there forever. Hopefully we get some cool custom sounds as well. I'd love to voice act a troll or something. That'd be pretty epic. But yeah, you can just see these trolls. Even though this cavalry fight was completely won, now Dol Amroth are having to run away because of the trolls. And there's just nothing here to really take them down. The archers might try and push up and try and get a couple shots off on them, but for the most part, that seems like the trolls were able to really turn that cavalry fight around with the support of more cavalry, and now we're seeing the Serpent's Guard now making its way into the back of the rest of the squires of Dol Amroth. An unfortunate blow to their backs, but something that, was to be expected. You always have to be so careful when you're playing so defensive, because your cavalry can, if they get caught out like this far away from the ranks of the enemy lines or your own friendly lines, they can just end up getting enveloped, because it's not exactly like they can send soldiers forward. However, we are getting a little bit of a fall-on charge right here into the Uruk bowmen. The cavalry getting stuck in, only 10 of them charging in, brave like Faramir himself, but unfortunately going back, and I don't think they really got a single kill right there. The archer fire unleashing from the Uruk archers. A pretty expensive purchase as well. These Uruk archers aren't cheap, but they do kind of make up that in their armor, and right now they are turning their focus and just trying to pick up as much of that cavalry as possible. We also have some of the Haradrim Serpent archers here as well. They're just aiding the front lines and really trying to soften up the attack before the legions of orcs, who you can see marching in the distance. Man, that is like one thing that gets me like rock solid, is just seeing the horde, like watching one part of a Total War battle and just seeing like off in the distance the soldiers marching. It's just so epic, and for me, that's what makes Total War. It really does. I loved playing some Warhammer 2 custom battle maps and like having a massive battle inside of a dwarven fortress, and then like kind of looking off the mountain edge and seeing soldiers still filtering in through a massive bridge. Oh, I always remember that. It's just so goddamn epic, and we are getting closer and closer now as the infantry make their way forward. Dol Amroth are now retaliating, trying to take down every single orc, because do remember, casualties make a big difference in this. This isn't just like a normal battle yet, all the cavalry's dead there. Casualties really do. So, if Dol Amroth end up dying here, but they take down, 50% of the enemy forces, that's going to obviously make the next battle a little bit easier. Obviously the orcs are going to win the battle if they do that, and then they end up, having reinforcements and stuff, but it's better than winning and Dol Amroth really not doing much else. And there you go, the lines clashing, the Uruks making their way in, and now the men of Dol Amroth will have to fight hard. Now again, the average Uruk isn't that scary. We have some orc warriors up there as well, trying to kind of get around the mountain edge, but seeming like they're getting caught. You get some soldiers around, which is nice. These orc warriors are pretty trash, so Dol Amroth are going to be able to take them down. But again, it's just the sheer pressure, the weight of numbers coming in. You can see the full battle line now ultimately completely engaged, and trolls making their way up. You can see exactly what the attacking players are trying to do. They're just trying to kind of overwhelm one flank, and there's even gaps over here right now which could be exploited. and push forward. I mean, this is already looking very rough. I love what the attackers are doing. They're like, if you want to kind of hold up here and hold this flank, we're just going to focus down, like, you know, a couple sections of your position. The archers have a perfect vision now on what they need to shoot. Just kill the trolls, shoot the trolls, bring them down, bring them down, bring them down. And that's where all the archer fire is going. Got some more of the Prince's Coast Guard rushing their way over, but you know, they're going to be the focus point of a lot of the archer fire that is coming in. And this is one of the advantages when, you know, Dol Amroth doesn't have their full fighting force here. The forces of evil, this is an invading force. Of course, they are going to have their fighting force ready and mustered. So the defenders are at such a big disadvantage. But right now, all they need to do is just bring down the enemy. If they can kill a couple troll units, that would be huge. That really, really would. I'm not sure exactly how casualties are working in this campaign, but it would be very cool, again, if we saw some units like being condensed down. If, you know, trolls did die, they are just gone forever. That would be very, very cool indeed. I always like them scenarios where units are just wiped out. So you have to be careful. Like, you know, if your trolls have done their damage, get them out of there. Bring them back. And let them sit in reserve for the next engagement. It's what makes these scenario battles so epic. Eric surviving by the skin of his teeth right there. Nice stuff. But yeah, lots more reinforcements being committed over to this right-hand side as the trolls continue to absolutely cause mayhem. Only up to 19 kills. And this is also something to keep in mind, is the trolls don't rack up kills like very fast. They take a little while to ramp up. But the thing that makes them so deadly is just how tanky they are. Like, they can output a lot of damage over time. So the thing is with the trolls is you want to kind of stick them in and then just like almost not forget about them, but let them do their thing. Let them hold down a flank and just rack up kills, because they will, you know, they will rack up them kills over a period of time. They're not so much like a shock infantry that comes in, does all their damage and then just dies. You know, they're kind of more like a steam tank rather than a glass cannon. And it seems like this right flank is already starting to crumble. However, we are seeing Dol Amroth not sitting idly by. They are bringing back some more men. I think, honestly, they need to almost just give up this left flank. Some more soldiers from the Haradrim are reinforcing the right-hand side now. But I think for the most part, we just almost need to commit out of this. They have also been able to get a unit of shock infantry right around the side, and they're going to smash into the back of these Uruks, which is going to do some serious damage. However, quite quickly, the Haradrim support their Orc allies by reinforcing. A very, very nice business, and we have a lot more Haradrim Serpent Spears off in the distance, making their way closer and closer. So even though these axemen from Dol Amroth were the flankers, all of a sudden the flanker has become the flankee. And now they are pinned between a rock and a hard place. No real way out for them. They're just going to have to fight their way out. How well are the Dol Amroth swords doing? 100 kills isn't bad. 100 kills. Only 12 kills. Oh, that's a unit of Orc warriors, yeah. So you can definitely see the Dol Amroth infantry are getting their pound of flesh. But these trolls are still looking so good. 20 kills, 80 kills. Again, as you can see, not like insane kills, but they haven't lost an Olokai yet, which is, you know, the real moneymaker. They can just go from combat to combat, doing serious business. And I think Dol Amroth might actually have a pretty hard time with these trolls, to be honest. Because they don't really have a great way of dealing with them. Normally it's like crossbows or like long-range archers like the elves have. I guess they're going to have to really rely on their Pillar Gear Marines and like reinforcements from Gondor. Because any like javelin infantry, Gondor have a lot of good javelin infantry. I'm not sure how good Dol Amroth's javelin infantry is. Or if I'm pretty sure they definitely have some. Or maybe some Swan Knights will have to get really stuck in there on a good charge to bring them down. So right now as well, we're seeing the last of really the reserves being committed in, and some soldiers already started to make their fallback. Yeah, you can see you know, soldiers realizing this right flank has completely crumbled already. We do have some cavalry making their way in, trying to break through. However, the rogue bits of infantry able to pin them in place. And now cavalry charging in, trying to slay as many of these archers as possible. But the Olokai, man. The Olokai. Oh, this unit of Olokai has lost a soldier now, or a troll, which is good. So another thing to keep in mind is, like, in Attila, there is kind of like a HP system. Think of it kind of almost like a shield in Halo, which you want to try and get down first. and like you don't really take any damage on any of the units whilst that HP shield is a thing. However, as soon as that drops, your soldiers really start to go down. So you might see a unit take 6, 7 archer volleys and nothing really happens. And then all of a sudden, like 8 of them drop, and then 9 of them drop, and then 10 of them drop. It's kind of like a progressive system like that. So when you start to see wounded units like their Molokai, you think, okay, now that unit's a bit more vulnerable. Now my archers can start to rack up some more kills. And yeah, you can already start to see that this unit of Olokai is down to only 4 left in the unit. So if they can get some more archer volleys in on there, you can definitely wipe that unit out. This troll is still looking good, but we have some archers up in the forest as well, trying their best, I think, to pin them down. However, there is a big old hill in the way, but it doesn't matter when they've got aerial drones spotting for them. So yeah, already taking down another Olokai right there. Just keep on focus fire and kill the expensive units, because that is exactly what you want to have happen. And I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point that the forces of evil are going to claim this one. But again, that's not what makes, like, it doesn't make the battle boring, because you know one side is really strong. This is the opening battle, and it's kind of going to be skewed towards the attackers. But it's all about how many kills the defenders can get. How many kills can Dol Amroth rack up so the next battle is just that bit easier. It would also be great as well if the guys who recorded this could let me know as well. I mean, I can just ask, but it's good to put it in the video because I'm sure they'll watch it. I'm sure you guys will be interested to know as well. Like, what are the consequences? Like, at the end of the video, because of the ending of the battle, what does that lead on to? I think that'd be a great thing to kind of explain in the videos at the end. You know, like, because these forces of evil won, they got reinforcements in the form of, you know, the players could pick an extra couple units to bring on, or, you know, they get replenishment, or, you know, what happened because of the outcome of the battle. I think that'd be a great feature to have at the end. But yeah, it seems like for the most part, the main defense has now fallen, and the soldiers have either retreated to the hill or to the mountain pass. So yeah, now the rest of the army is moving up. They still have a handful of archers left remaining, so they can definitely utilize that. The defenders do have a unit of javelins. Yeah, so Dol Amroth do also have these. So I imagine investing in these will be very important for killing the trolls. We have some seaward spear infantry up there, some more archers. Definitely want to utilize them. Leave that unit of trolls up here. Yeah, it's falling back now. Definitely would want to try and hold them back, because the trolls have done their work. And honestly, the attackers could also just ignore these guys and just march straight down here. But I guess clearing off the archers would be pretty important, because this is going to be a hard position to break again. They can't really utilize the same tactics where they just smash through one flank like last time, because this is just, you know, one position holding firm. So we'll have to see. And we also have a unit of Haven Guard as well back up here. Are you guys proud of me as well? I said Haven Guard, not Heaven Guard, which I normally say. So these guys are ready to push down and get themselves stuck in. So yeah, let's jump ahead until this army is a little bit further forward. Okay, so we now have a 2-pronged attack. The main assault force, pretty much led up by the Haradrim, are pushing up and just focusing down the actual mountain passage. And then we have an army, again, pretty much made up of Orc warriors and also kind of the surviving Mordorian army, which are going to be pushing up here and trying to break this down. Makes sense to really push up here because, yeah, they can deal with it. And then we have the rest of the Eastlings really sitting in reserve, and it's surprising they're not using the Easterlings. Maybe they want to try and keep these guys as fresh as possible for the next battle. But yeah, the Eastlings haven't really done too much. They use their archers, obviously, but besides that, they've kind of set back and played very passive, which again is definitely a plausible play. We have some archers up here really trying to kill them trolls, you know, sending off volley after volley. Unfortunately, unable to do that. I'm not sure as well if this force from Mordor is going to be able to deal with what's up here. I think they're going to need reinforcements because there's not that much up here. The Morgul Legion is amazing. You can see 60 kills on both of these guys, and we've only lost like 10-15 guys. But I don't think they're going to do too well. The Javelins making their way out, going to try and get a volley off here and break this unit of Uruk Throng. Definitely very possible to do so. But you also want to try and keep these trolls for a better, or these Javelins for a better target. Again, the archer volleys going off once again. Bring down the trolls. That is definitely their purpose. And the trolls are just being lobbed in, which is obviously going to be a very risky maneuver. Like, they're going to get their damage in, but yeah, them trolls are going down. You can see the archer fire doing a great job. I guess almost sacrificing a couple units to try and push forward, but just look at that. That troll just fell over right there. And now only one Olokai down, so a pretty good setup right here Yeah, there you go. Patrols are gone. If they break, that's fine. The unit is still alive. But yeah, a lot of the funds of the next battle will have to be spent on replenishing them and bringing them back. And already, units breaking over here. And as you can see, like, I just don't think this is going to be enough. Like, this just isn't going to be enough to take this position. More reinforcements are going to have to be sent. That is for sure. And even so, the archers over here could also be brought in to reinforce this. Even with the Mordor Legion being sent up, which is a super scary unit, I just don't think it's going to be enough. The amount of arrow volleys coming in, a routed troll who's come back from routing now, but is still just pondering life, deciding whether or not he should commit to his battle. There you go. He does fully rout there in the end. Like, nah, I'm out of here. I do not want to be a part of this. Pelican Marines being caught, which is a nice little pickup here. The York Throng not going to be able to do too much, but if they manage to kill one or two of these guys, it's at least one or two less javelins. But yeah, look at that. The Mordor threat is not going to be able to take this down, even with archer support. I like this. The runic archers coming around here, volleying through the trees and also up the hill. A perfect volley right there, as if they were elven archers. But you can see a lot of the arrows are also scattering and hitting the Mordor Legion and plenty of other units. So yeah, this position really being taken down. And there's, I think even there's even a unit of cavalry right here as well. Oh, these are the knights as well. Oh my god, this unit is elite. So if these guys get in the back of anything, that is going to be very deadly indeed. And these are the prince's personal cavalry. So an extremely deadly force. And I wonder if either side will try and pull any units out. Like, for example, will these men of Dol Amroth, if they win this battle, really try and fall back? There's some cavalry being brought out as well, probably to try and intercept the Serpent's Guard. More soldiers being thrown forward here. But this does also open gaps now. The cavalry could try and break their way through. And again, this is one of the big problems we saw earlier on in the battle. Because Dol Amroth are not fighting within their own battle lines, they're engaging a cavalry fight, which should work out pretty well. However, look at this. Mordor are able to get their spearmen stuck into the fight. And that is going to pay dividends. And all of a sudden, you're seeing the Knights of Imladris Imrahil having to pull back. And they take damage as they fall back. The formations are having to break. Soldiers are going down. The main defense as well is still holding firm. A few casualties in here, but nothing crazy from the archer fire. So they're sitting pretty. And yeah, actually able to get a nice little outflank there. And at this point, there's just there's just not enough infantry up here. Like, if I was the Dol Amroth, I'd really consider starting to send some more soldiers. Oh my god, though, with the Uruk Spearmen in there, this unit, these knights are getting cut down. And they're still fighting good cavalry as well. The Serpent's Guard is a decent horse unit. But now being pinned in place, and with the Uruk Spears, just add that little bit of extra tankiness. They take some of the damage away from the rest of the cavalry. And even up to 27 kills, it's just not looking too good for them with that cavalry. And as soon as this position is opened up, you can already start to see huge gaps appearing right there. And that could really see the end of the battle. I'm surprised more soldiers just aren't being sent though. But I guess Mordor was like, don't worry, I've got this. You guys sit back. Well, the trolls have now gone down. The Mordor Legion are being surrounded and also taking a lot of friendly fire as well. I think a lot of the casualties on this Mordor Legion are probably down to them Eastling archers. But hey, any help, I guess, is good help. And boom, just like that, the Mordor Legion row. Oh my god, that is... No, wait. Yeah. But Mordor Legion has routed. That is disgusting. 80 of them left. They're such a good unit. However, the cavalry pulling through right now, taking an archer volley. They're able to get in on these marksmen. Oh, that point-blank volley, though. Able to really blunt that charge. And with the cavalry coming in, they're actually going to be able to take these guys down. Yeah, we've got all their archers currently focusing in on what remains of the Serpent Guard. Oh, but yeah, there you go. The Knights of Imrahil dying. That's going to be a pretty deadly blow. But yeah, I mean, it looks like for the most part, they've been able to win up here. I think we'll skip ahead because the archers will clear this up. The Mordor Legion are very close to breaking. And then Dol Amroth have kind of held this position, which again is going to help support the center very nicely. The Haradrim are now making their way up this left flank to do what the orcs could not they will take their place and really finish off what remains of Dol Amroth, which isn't much. They've really been backed into a corner. The main assault on the mountain pass has always been kicked off as well. We have axemen being brought in along with the support of the archers as well, who are out of ammunition, really just throwing everything forward. But I can't see this position holding that much longer. The spearmen aren't going to be a great match, even though I say that they are doing decently. But yeah, you can already start to see the archers being utilized around these flanks, and I think these positions will crumble fairly soon. Dol Amroth have done a good job though. They've managed to rack up 2,000 casualties, considering they were outnumbered by that 2,000 men, is not bad. And again, still, we're not going to be going down without a fight either. They're going to be committing in a lot of their extra soldiers. Got more swordsmen coming in as well. As the seaward spear infantry do go down, they're still taking that pound of flesh. The archer fire really coming in clutch, and this is why, you know, more men should have been sent to this flank. Mordor definitely should have been taking a reserve role, because their army has been completely obliterated. Now, obviously, you know, they will be having more soldiers reinforcing them in the next battle. Considering they've won this, you know, initial battle, it's safe to say that they get plenty of reinforcements. But I think Dol Amroth have done pretty admirably, and if they can rack down like the enemy battle line to like 50% of their strength, I think that's going to be, you know, a decent push. And as they get probably pushed back to Dol Amroth, things will be very epic, because there is now a brand new Dol Amroth map as well, which should make for a very fun battle. I assume that's what we're working towards. More archer fire as well coming in, trying to focus down the elite serpent infantry. Only able to take down 1 or 2 of them on that charge. They're going to be a super scary infantry. Yeah, and you can just see the flank is being completely overwhelmed. The Haven Guard thrown in as best as they can. The archer fire immediately focusing down. Yeah, with the support of the archer fire up there from the hill, the spearmen able. I wouldn't cheer too soon, boys. There are still plenty more in your face. As another volley continues to come in. Volley after volley making its way in. The javelin throwing everything they have, only racking up 20 kills or so. Also a lot of friendly fire going off here, which is actually going to be enough to break this unit. So again, there's still plenty left in reserve right here. We have an entire Easterling army just sitting in reserve pretty much. This flank as well is crumbling. The rest of the seaward swordsmen and spearmen not looking good. We'll get some archer volleys though into the general. The Serpent Guard having to pull back. It could probably easily squeeze through this line if they wanted to as well. Charging in just to try and cause some more issues, but there we go. That line is completely broken now. You'll see this infantry coming around. Obviously dealing with the archers as well is a big thing. More axemen thrown up. This will be kind of where they hold them though. Obviously with the Prince's Coast Guard stuck in here, that's going to be enough to rack up some decent kills. And we have the Haven Guard just going absolutely man mode, up to 133 kills without losing a man. That is not a bad KDA. Or losing 8, sorry. It's still not a bad KDA. Really trying to catch off some of these archers. However, now they're out of position, these low-K rim bowmen will turn around and just absolutely pepper them as we get another charge coming in. Nice little kill there on the charge, but yeah, as you'll see, these archers will immediately turn around and just start hammering in and just doing so much damage. That's why shock infantry tends to be a very, very difficult unit to use, and there's just barely anything left now. This flank being completely stolen away. I guess the original plan was to take this hill and then fire down with their archers. That's why a lot of the archers weren't being used, but yeah, now proving a little bit of a troublesome thing. The rest of the Haven Guard now still up to 200 kills, but obviously the main focus point, and now getting chopped down by the elite Warlords of Rune, the heaviest infantry unit that they have to offer. The rest of the battle line really starting to crumble, and I think army attrition will take the rest of this engagement. So the forces of evil winning this day, to be expected. However, Dol Amroth put up a very good fight and were able to kill a huge amount, almost 2/3 of the, pretty much 2/3 of the enemy force. So this is going to obviously come back to hurt them in the next battle. Your reinforcements will be arriving on both sides. You know, the rest of the legions crossing the river will be able to kind of reinforce, and obviously winning the victory here will give them a big boost, but still deadly nonetheless. And now we just have the last couple units, dismounted knights. and halberds throwing their way in. And this is also another interesting thing about the scenario battles, because it's all about just like getting the kills. You like almost don't want to save your elite infantry to the very end, because you want to kind of get them stuck in and get them to use their, use their skill. So also committing them elite warriors, like if you know the battle is very much not in your favor, committing them elite warriors and just kind of cutting through the trash early is going to be pretty big. A tactic I would definitely employ. There we have it. 8 seconds left. Army attrition kicking in. The hillside had been completely flanked as well. And a valiant defeat. Hey, that is respectable. Definitely not something to pin down, considering they were outnumbered, by an entire extra army, which really came in clutch. Kill wise, again, you can see the archers doing decently, the cavalry doing its best, and also the Haven Guard, 100 kills is not bad. On the other side of things as well, lots of kills, even the spearmen doing very decently, so not bad whatsoever. And on the other side, again, you can see the cavalry, very nice. I mean, just to see how the trolls did, 110 kills, it's not amazing, but pretty decent, respectable, and the Eastlings as well getting some nice kills. So if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below. If you want to see the next part of this scenario, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.